Matthew doing the washing up. That's what I like to see. So tell me about the chapter that involves washing up.
Okay, yeah, so chapter 1, I think it's called But I Cooked the Dinner, and it's about like a policy that lots of couples use to try and increase equality at home. So they say, well, look, I'll cook the dinner and you do the washing up, so we'll take turns. And it seems like a really good idea, but sometimes it doesn't work.
And why doesn't that work?
Well, the subtitle of the chapter is Same Words, Different Meanings, and one of the things we talk about is like how one person does the dinner might be quite different from the way the other person does the dinner. So, for example, one person, when they're cooking dinner, they do a bit of washing up as they go. Good policy in my view, but the other person doesn't do that. So when they're doing the turn taking, it's like when it's the washer up as they go's turn, the washer upper doesn't have very much to do. When it's the other way around, oh my God, it's a nightmare.
And why can't you just tell the other person to just get with the program and do the washing up as they go? Why doesn't that work?
That's kind of why Helen and I wrote the book. You're Helen. That's kind of why we wrote the book, because the pointing it out doesn't seem to go very well. I guess it's partly because often when you're doing that kind of telling, it's like a telling off, and people don't generally respond all that well to that. But I think it's also because the sort of difference of understanding, it goes quite deep. It's not just a sort of surface level. You know, talking about it can help, but really kind of getting it under your skin, we think that's the real thing. So one of the things we talk about in the book is like doing experiments. It may be better for one person to do both tasks on any given day. So if you're the person that makes a gazillion pots and pans dirty, you get to wash them up. Similarly, like if you're a person who interrupts your partner a lot when you're making dinner, again, that's not the same as making dinner without interrupting people. So like maybe you do an experiment where you say, look, if it's your turn to do dinner, you absolutely do not do any interrupting, even if you don't know where the whisk is or you can't find the custard powder. But you kind of have to do experiments, and that's what I mean about the deeper understanding. You only get that through experience rather than just talking.
And then what happens when the other person has made the dinner and there's no flipping custard with the pudding?
So that's
then
one of the things.
do?
Yeah, that's one of the things we talk about in the book. Is like in some sense, we say you have to kind of suck that up, because you have to let people kind of find their own way. You can't explain to them the right way to do things, because it just gets their backs up and the arguments just continue. But they have to suck it up to do the experiment. Like, it's in the interest of science. It's in the interest of equality at home.
In the interest of science, I like that. Thanks, Matthew. Get back to the washing up now, please.
Okay.
Thank you very much.